my school just had a Name That Baby contest where we teachers could send in our baby pictures, and it was displayed inside the hallway right outside the front office, and students and teachers and colleagues and really anybody could go and figure out what baby picture goes with what staff member. And for my baby picture, I chose a very special picture from my childhood. And it is the picture of me standing at my doorstep of my childhood home, dressed as Wonder Woman. I had my Wonder Woman bathing suit on, and I was holding a paper Wonder Woman in my arms. I had my rope of truth hanging off of my arm, my bracelets that I had taken from my mom's jewelry box, and even my red galoshes. And the funny thing is that almost every student knew that was me because in my classroom, I have Wonder Woman things everywhere. I have little action figures. I have Wonder Woman cup as a pencil holder. I have, just those kind of things inside my classroom. So they definitely made the connection. I grew up loving Wonder Woman. Heck, I wanted to be Wonder Woman. But the older I get, the more I realize I can't be Wonder Woman. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but neither can you. So often we teachers are seen as superheroes. But the real truth is, we're not. And we can't be, and we shouldn't be. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey friends, welcome to Enjoy Teaching Again, a podcast for teachers who love teaching but need a little inspiration to bring the joy back. I'm your host, Elizabeth Peterson, classroom teacher, arts integration specialist, and your guide to making teaching meaningful, fun, and creative again. I know your teaching days are tough with disengaged students, battling behaviors, and going home each day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. But together, we can change that. I can't wait to share with you some creative ways to engage your students, build those important connections, and teach with creativity, confidence, and purpose. It's time for you to enjoy teaching again. So locate that cold coffee of yours, grab your favorite pen, I know you have one, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. It's time to get inspired. A number of years ago, I was in a staff meeting, and my principal made a comment that we teachers were superheroes. And I know she was trying to excite us and motivate us, but those high expectations didn't motivate me. As she was talking about all the amazing things that we do as teachers and how we're just like superheroes, it made me really ponder and think about all the things that I can't do in the classroom, all the ways that I am not a superhero to my students. And it actually did the opposite of what I think she was intending, which was to motivate us. It really made me feel like a failure. But here's the reality. You don't have to be a superhero to be an inspiring teacher. You just have to be you. Now, why does this idea actually hurt teachers more than help them? The superhero expectation actually can make you feel like you must have unrealistic expectations. And those unrealistic expectations can lead to burnout. We feel like we always have to be available to our school, available to our students, available to the families. That's what a superhero really does, right? If you think about it, superheroes are always there at a moment's notice, always there with full force, full power, always know what to do, and always succeed. How unrealistic is that? The idea of being a superhero and having these high expectations can actually make us feel guilty when we want to set boundaries and want to prioritize our own personal lives outside of school hours. It makes us feel like we have to push aside our own needs and our own emotions, because when you're a superhero, you are expected to drop everything and overperform. That's one of the lines in the job description of a superhero, right? And this idea of being a superhero actually contributes to the daily teacher drain, which is the exhaustion from constantly trying to meet impossible expectations. And we're actually going to go over more about what this idea of the daily teacher drain is in the next episode. So there's a lot to it. But this is a huge piece of it. So today I want you to really give yourself the opportunity to release this idea of being a superhero. Okay, really. Take a deep breath and let's release this feeling of being everything to everyone. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to acknowledge your emotions. Remember that you do not have to be on all the time. It's okay to feel frustrated, to feel tired, and even unmotivated on some days. You feel what you feel. You are human. But what you do with those feelings is up to you. This is your chance to model healthy emotional regulation for your students and even for your family and your colleagues. When you give yourself a moment to really pause and acknowledge your own human emotions, you can start to shift from that feeling of needing to be a superhero to being an inspiring teacher. So instead of carrying the weight of every problem, help students take ownership inside the classroom for their own learning and their own growth. This is something I love working with SEAL teachers on, helping them to explicitly teach their students social and emotional skills for the classroom so that their students can actually self-manage and be prepared to learn. I also want you to let go of the pressure to have all the answers. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to have all the answers. It's okay to seek out help from colleagues, from specialists and service providers in your school, like the school counselor or the speech therapist, or even the principal. In fact, some of the best opportunities for teaching and learning, as you probably know and maybe have experienced, come from collaborating with colleagues and with parents and with other students as well. And finally, I want you to focus on connection over control. You can't control everything. I know I've talked about it in the past on this podcast, and I'll probably talk about it many more times in future episodes, but you can't control everything. But your presence matters, and your presence matters more than perfection. Now, that doesn't mean throw classroom management out the window. Good gosh, no. But there is a balance, which I love seeing in my SEAL teachers as they find and learn more about how to make genuine connections with their students. You're not swooping in to save the day and have everything perfect. Instead, you're working with your kids and helping them to learn skills through connection and through engaging experiences inside your classroom. See, here's the thing. Inspiration doesn't come from being superhuman. It comes from being real. And that's what I've been able to do over the years, to realize that I am human. I, unfortunately, am indeed not Wonder Woman. As much as I want to be like her, look like her, act like her, and come in and save the day like her, I just don't have her superpowers. But there are things that I can do, and when I can realize what they are and utilize them inside my classroom, that's when an inspired classroom really starts to emerge. So this week, if you start to feel overwhelmed by the things you feel are necessary, but maybe really aren't all that necessary, take a deep breath. Pause yourself. Press your pause button and acknowledge that as much as you may want to be a superhero, you're not a superhero. You're human. And being human being a human who can care and connect and create an environment in your classroom where students feel safe to learn is an amazing quality of an inspiring teacher. So keep showing up as you, and that's what will inspire your students the most. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you're walking away feeling a little lighter, knowing that you don't have to be a superhero to make a difference in your classroom. Next time, we're diving deeper into the daily teacher drain, what it is, why it's happening, and most importantly, practical ways that you can combat it so that you can keep showing up as the inspiring teacher that you are. So be sure to hit subscribe, and I'll see you then. I hope this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh idea to try. And if so, I would love for you to take a screenshot and text it to one of your teaching buddies. I'm so grateful that you landed here with me today, and it would mean the world to me if you would leave me a review over on Apple Podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode. This is Elizabeth Peterson reminding you to get inspired so you can be inspiring to your students and enjoy teaching again.